So last week I was telling a story about this young guy who lives nearby, and one curiosity was there in him that what exactly I have everything and still I'm not happy, and he has been dating with couple of girls and ultimately every time he got frustrated. So I was because I cannot say you directly. Teacher never interferes in what you are doing. Teachers in the Eastern wisdom, we will never interfere in whatever you are doing, but we will put a knowledge into it. We'll put a spice into it so that you start thinking about it. You start contemplating. So the last frustration was with that girl, and he said, do you remember? He said that I gave 200%. I caught him. I said, why you gave 200%? What is the motivation behind it? Normally, every man says to the beautiful girls that we give 200%. It's not a big deal. So, oh, that's a right question. I gave because I love her. I said, tell me what is your love? Because he has been continuing the sessions, so now his mind started reflecting on those principles. So he instantly told me, oh, 200%. Do you think that it is emotional dependence? I said, why should I think about you? You think about yourself. Whether it is emotional dependence or emotional freedom. Love is emotional freedom. Those who are thinking of making love, they should also listen to it. That is why it helps. Those real stories helps. Are you getting it? Uh, so ultimately, then he started contemplating, and weeks ago he said, so this is what you have been talking to me to find happiness in the world outside with any people, place, or object is basically a means. It is not a goal. Do you understand that? It is means. Car is a means to reach home or to drive to workplace. You have the most expensive car, or you have the used car, or you have the leased car. I always lease the car. What is the goal? You reach home or workplace. In between, you have certain likes and dislikes. Yeah, take care of that. It should be fully loaded electronically because it takes care of your safety. That's good. But ultimate goal, the goal is to drive from one place to the other. It takes years and years for people, even who has a very highest level of IQ, to understand that the goals are the goals. If you find the goal in your life, which is basically a means, fear, frustration, failure, stress, struggle will definitely enter your life. You do whatever you want to do. You may be highly intelligent. That is the story, the message in this story. So he called me and he was so excited. He called me a couple of times. I was busy and then I called him. So you mean to say this is the goal of life is to find the peace and happiness inside me, not outside. But it does not mean that I should not live in peace and happiness and love with everyone in the world. Knowledge is clear. When the knowledge is clear, it will bring the same right and proper thoughts in your life, and that you will be able to put that knowledge into an action, and the life becomes easy. Life becomes easy. That is the story. Before we go further, time to reflect for a minute. How do you find the journey? What changes has taken place in your life? By the way, I told you the real life story of that guy who was paying around thousands of dollars to, to a divorcee. He came back. Yesterday we had a long conversation. And he said, no, I have to reset and I want to restart the journey. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. It has nothing to do with me. Openly, I tell you, it has nothing to do with me. Very clear. It has to do with the knowledge. That knowledge strikes in your head. So he was telling, I was thinking that everything will be fine. And then I got too much involved into my business and I started earning better. I got an appreciation and I found that this is what the life is. And then he said that I realized this is not what the life is, and that is why I returned to you. So we will be starting our journey together. Why I'm citing you these examples, that the knowledge must be settled in your intellect. How many times you were upset since the last session? I know you were upset because of my computer, not because of me. Last audio. So I should also not be upset. I spent a couple of, I would say, $1,000 to upgrade it. So there were some bugs and etc. So neither I should be upset nor I should make anyone upset. And it only happens because of the knowledge. We have no right to die. I have been telling you, we have no right to die before we learn, understand, and realize that we are destined to be a human being, to reach to the highest state of the consciousness, to realize that peace and happiness. That is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. Now go back to the same guy who told me that now I have realized that this is the goal. How he came up with that goal, if we analyze, if we observe, so that principle is known as 4 connections. There are 3 factors, first, second, third, and we connect them together. Where you connect them inside your head. How you connect them? By contemplation and reflection. That guy outside is the cause of my all worries. What I did? I connected my peace and happiness to that person. It is a wrong connection. You see how easy it is to understand it. But to understand is one thing, and to realize in your life is second thing. So when you realize, you are always free. So what are the 3 factors? The mind must think clearly. It should start thinking on the line of these principles. So the first factor is that, are you curious only to know, to realize and to discover peace and happiness, or are you a seeker? Yes, I am a seeker. Then the master asks, are you a qualified seeker? What does it mean by a qualified seeker? We have a lot of impurities. So take those impurities as distractions. The mind gets distracted, like this guy. Almost 3 years, after 3.5 years, he enjoyed his journey of entering into all kinds of different kinds of beers. He was telling me wines, and he tried vodka, and then he said that, I should return. We will never interfere in your life. Be very clear. But we will put the knowledge there. You pick up, good. You don't pick up, not good. We don't have an ego that only I teach you the right thing. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. So the first, we have to become a qualified seeker. But for what to seek? Only keep that question, who am I, in your mind. I am good and beautiful, and why you are not attracted towards me. I got a message from one of my friend. She always asks those good questions. What is your opinion about Dalai Lama? You have heard, you have seen the videos. I'm not going to repeat it. So my mind instantly said, why should I give my opinion? It is a gossip. For the last 60, 70 years, he has tried every means and effort to change the world. You have a lot of respect and love, and a single thing, single incident has raised your eyebrows. Why should I answer that question? No need to answer. Find out, don't get it too much involved. Even in your relations in your family, what others are doing. I tell you frankly, otherwise you'll be in problem. Don't get too much involved. So the first is that to become a seeker, the second is, who am I? And the master gives the knowledge that I am the real self, pure consciousness of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Third is, what is the third factor? The third factor is the result, what I will get. I will continue to live in peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. The moment I think, speak, and act in love, truth, and wisdom, that naturally sets an example to the people around me. So, when that sets an example, so there is a challenge that how to think, speak, and act in relations, in people, in the world outside with the like the computer god. Why should I get upset? Computer has a bug. I don't have a bug. No, anyhow, But conventional method, I'm very sorry that you all did not get the message. That is a conventional method. You can use it. But don't feel the upset inside. Are you getting it? So this guy connected clearly in his head that this is the goal, and the peace and the happiness is the final goal. Others in the world are simply the means to achieve that goal. I will continue to live with those means. I told you that I sent him the message. Now you are a seeker and we can go ahead. So his response came. Now see that. His response came, thank you, my dear Guruji. Guruji, who is the Guruji? Guru means knowledge and ignorance. So that is the reason Eastern wisdom laid down those principles to have a communication with the teacher. Always continue until you reach to that state. You should have a certain respect for it. They lay the foundation, whether people understand it or it has nothing to do with the ego of a teacher or a student. So once we are a seeker, the mind remains focused on that. So, how can I be free? That mind of a seeker keeps on contemplating and reflecting how I can be free from the limitations. Limitations is caused by the ignorance, and ignorance expresses itself through the mind, insecurity, dissatisfaction, unhappiness, anxiety, duality, conflict, long list. But who am I? Instantly, I recognize that I am is independent of everything outside, and then I keep on working, and from there I apply the conventional method, and that ease the pressure in my life. Another issue that is also very important, this is what this young guy told me who became a seeker. But it does not mean that he has become a seeker, he will remain a seeker tomorrow also, unless the mind is free from the impurity. So it means I have to constantly work in purifying the mind by my thought, by my speech, by my action. Applying those conventional methods. So one question comes, we are solving those problems appears very logical, that I'm so kind, I've been so kind and sympathetic. The way the guy said that I gave 200% to her, and then I got frustrated. That is how we express ourselves, that I'm so kind and helpful to people, and still I have fears, failures, frustration in my daily life, even with my members of my family, even with my friends. What is the reason? I'm not applying the conventional method. Simple answer. Apply the conventional method. What is the conventional method? Is a karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Karma yoga is the action outside and a right and a proper attitude inside the mind. Why I don't have a right and proper attitude in the mind, even if I'm very kind to the people, I may be very kind because of my fear. Do you see that? Have you seen that? I'm talking to my biggest boss, like organization, and then see how I'm very kind and very soft and gentle. I have done some mistake and you caught me, then I'm very kind. No, no, no. Everything is okay. They're the conventional method. You apply them and you get rid of this impurity. You get rid of it. We all know it, we have done it, one or so what the journey looks like in couple of weeks before. I am real self, not experience. That is the goal. It is veiled by the impurities of the mind. So, my job is to purify the mind, to remove the ignorance. I want to realize myself. I am the real self. So, what happens that we have to recognize there are two eyes working. One eye is the false self, that, and the other is the real self, the real eye, the false eye. I tell you, constantly remain awake and aware and recognize the two eye, because if you are not aware, you will not recognize the two eye. We have created a doubt. Do you see that? One eye, false eye. Other eye, real eye. But why I have created a doubt? I am in stress, job of a false eye. So that I start contemplating and reflecting where and how the impurities in my mind is causing this trouble, so that I can remove. We have already understood that this false eye is commander in chief. We have already discussed. That's why I'm directly coming to this this topic. So hidden behind the impurities, these impurities needs to be weakened, lessened, minimized so that it becomes negligent. Why I said so, it cannot be removed 100%. No chance. It is the very nature of the mind. One part of our mind is impulsive, instinctive, animal mind. But it has been taken over by the intellect, knowledge, and the wisdom, which is not possible in the animal species. Can we remove it 100%? No. You remove it, you will die. What do you mean by it? You are hungry. It is an instinctive, impulsive need. Look at it. Snake is there. I have to jump. Impulsive mind. We're moving to a little higher level. So if you start dreaming that my mind is now purest in imagination, not possible. But we remove those events, moments, impurities, which is strengthening the false I, which is strengthening the commander in chief, which are a necessity for the life. I will do it. So people get lot of confusion. Oh, I will, I have lot of thoughts. Then what? Take it lightly. Lane one. You don't belong to the lane one. Finished. Understanding. So then what happens? We have to understand the good karma, the karma or the action that appears outside very good. If it is supported by the commander in chief, then we will complain, I help you so much and you have cheated me. I cheated you for the right reason, so that at least you become aware of it. You will not follow that path. Do you see the complex nature of our psychological being and such a deeper and clear understanding in our day to day living? Look at it. Again, I'm stressing the conventional method. So, that conventional method gradually, progressively makes this commander in chief. I gave an example. It makes you a ripe ego. You do not live with the unripe ego. And when you are living with the ripe ego, the joy is unlimited, unbound joy you live in. Ego is one of the greatest challenges that we have in our life. False ego, false I. I have already made it a distinction. There is a false I, real I. Keep that doubt in your mind. Make it so strengthened. What happens? I'm in anxiety, stress, duality, conflict. It's the job of the false I. It cannot be the job of the real I. Then you have the conventional method to apply. Get out of it. Get out of that situation. So I told him that you have given 200% to that. That is the false I. Are you understanding that? Now make it clear. I did not tell him, but I was recognizing that, so he came, he wanted to attend that session, that by claiming that he has given 200% to that girl and still he is frustrated. Why? Because of commander in chief. So I counter questioned him that why you did not give me 200%? You should have changed completely. Ah, Girish, his expression. This is what happens with the confusion and the conflict, and that is what the ignorance is. That once we apply those conventional methods, then we come to a point that what exactly is the best method? Best method is the self inquiry. But it has to be supported by the conventional method. In my daily life and living, somebody has insulted you, so you don't close your eyes and you say to that guy, let me do the self inquiry there and find out. No, you have to apply the conventional method. Self inquiry is personal, individual, sitting alone and contemplating and reflecting. Then you find, yes, is the reason. So we also understand that before we do the self inquiry, we will talk about it. You can say it is a self inquiry, we can say it is a self thinking, you can say it is a contemplation, you can say it is reflecting, or you can simply say it is a thinking in line with the principles of Eastern wisdom. That is why we are opening and understanding these principles. Before that, I use the word Mangalacharan of being auspicious. I should start. What is the meaning of Mangalacharan? What is the rule in doing the self inquiry? Take an example when I am in stress. So I am using the Mangalacharan. So let me get out of this stress, create an auspicious moment, find the ways to be in peace because peace is my essential need. You should have that thinking. So that Mangalacharan, that creating an auspicious moment traditionally has been, what is the traditional way of doing the Mangalacharan? That you pick up the image of the God and you seek their grace and the blessing. But the highest level of Mangalacharan is by thinking that is right and good. Whether you follow the seeking the blessing and the prayer from the God and goddesses of any religion, that is a very lower level. Masters explain it. Those who cannot understand, those who cannot read this path, they can attend those. They can do that. But otherwise, you are in anxiety. Okay, awake. You are awake. You experience the anxiety. Are you aware? The moment you are aware, you remember the Mangalacharan, you do it. I can bet you the next moment you are free from it. But you have to get rid of it. You have to remove the root. That is why the self inquiry has to be done. Now, I believe that with that self inquiry, with an understanding of the commander in chief, if you don't have an army, what is the use of having a commander in chief? So, what are those armies? Likes and dislikes? Duo? Then trio? What is the trio? Do you remember? Desire, seeking happiness outside. Desire for food is not what we are talking about. Desire for basic necessities, not we are talking about. So desire, trio, desire, hesitation, and greed. And then the duo again, ego and the selfishness. They are the armies of the crown commander in chief. And that is by the self inquiry, we go deeper into the deeper layers of the mind. How these likes and dislikes in this trio, desire, hesitation, greed, or, greed is one word which you can use as an addiction or a craving or an obsession. Modern psychology are very intelligent people, they do it very fine line. But they all comes out of the repeat desire. Don't you see that? So we will focus on repeat desire and you can use them. So So we will see that how we can step by step. And the final step is that what Terry asked me to cover that topic again. So you have heard me until now, but don't forget first is listening and learning from a teacher. You leave the teacher, followed by what you have learned, self inquiry, what it means to contemplate and reflect. So, what happens by contemplation and reflection? You do it every day, anytime, in the midst of your activities, in your relations. So, you have to check that the day from that first step, it results into a kind of detachment. From where the detachment comes from the likes and dislikes. So by that self inquiry, we are moving into a higher journey. And once your mind continues to live with a state of detachment, it leads to dispassion. Again, I'm repeating listening, learning, followed by the contemplation, reflection, followed by the practice. You have to check, recheck, examine, evaluate what happened every day. Are you getting more calm, peaceful, relaxed? You don't react, you have started responding instead of reacting. My friend missed the session, who challenged me that do you think that I am not a seeker? No, that I will never say that you are a seeker or a non-seeker. It is you who has to check. No, those who are been attending this session, they tell them, do you think that I am not a seeker? Who told you that you are not a seeker? Everyone is a seeker. Even who is totally involved in all kinds of pleasure in the world. What they are searching? They are searching peace and happiness. So everyone is a seeker. So the moment you do the self-inquiry, you start, if you do not find the changes of relax and calm and your now frequency of getting into anxiety and anger and hesitation has gone down. Intensity has gone down by the three movement of the mind with the wisdom, detachment, dispassion. Now, Master says the last point, and then we'll do the practice. This, my friends, that once you have a dispassion, you have to check your mind. Your mind appears to be totally free and naturally steady. In modern psychology, we talk of the focus. Against the focus, we say that it is an oscillation of attention, unsteady mind, distraction. That distraction is the result of the command. It comes from the commander in chief and its armies. And we discussed the last point. Kakachista bakodhyanam swananidra tathaivcha. So you have to check if the mind is now, your mind is moving, how it is moving, the effort like a crow. You have already heard the story, the water is the lower level and he puts the pebble, the water level rises and he drinks the water. So if I have to drink the water of peace and happiness, I have to continue to make an effort. Why? I know, I have recognized, I have understood that peace and happiness are my essential nature. So I am in stress. It means I have yet to continue my effort. Kakachesta bakodhyanam, focus like a crane, that stands on one foot, waiting for the fish to catch. Focus like that. They realize that the crane makes an extra effort or it's natural. That naturalness should come. People come to me, I made so much of effort, and you see that nothing is happening. Nothing will happen. Clear answer. Taste above. And the sleep like a dog. So as you continue the journey, you will see that your 8 hours or 9 hours of the sleep will go down, and you will have a deeper in the sound sleep, and that will help you to filter the thought and makes you more aware of uh, even the you're mindful of the eating food. Natural state will come. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, my friends. You're comfortable. Adjust and align the body. That's good. Sam is sitting outside. That's good. So, eyes are closed. One thing. Make your body comfortable. You experience comfort. How? You are aware. Why? You are awake. So being awake and aware is more important than trying to make yourself comfortable. When you try, what happens? Then I used to see in group sessions, people started moving their head right, left, up and down, adjusting their. Why? Become aware of the entire body, awareness of the entire body. So you have already understood moving the mind within, or is basically a rise in awareness. Experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Then the space. Space is awareness, and awareness is space. Introduce the lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, the mental highway, like all the other highways that we see physically. Because I'm giving that metaphor which makes sense to your mind. But why it should make a sense? The lane 1 has unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. They are coming and going. Let them come and go. Who cares? Why? You're not in a lane 1. Where you are? In the lane 2. What is lane 2? You're observing. It is intellect. It is the knowledge that even if unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are entering into my mind, I have an ability to discern, separate. I told you, from detachment to dispassion. In between the detachment and dispassion, there is a discernment. Attachment is what? Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Why my mind is so much crazy? I don't see that. Let it be crazy. The moment you discern, you are already into lane 3. That is the beauty. It doesn't even take a second, not even a fraction of a second. I tell you. Being carefree. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. What we are doing through the mantra, Mangalacharan, auspiciousness. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for whom? For everyone. Why everyone? Or let everyone be happy. Swastir basically means auspiciousness, but I used to translate as a happiness. As we progress further, we will go deeper into the meaning. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Why I am chanting, reciting the mantra in the Sanskrit? Because anything new that triggers the brain. What do you mean by triggering the brain? You have more awareness and attention. So it's a good to chant in Sanskrit. It has nothing to do with any cult, dogma, belief, etc. So what it means, let there be peace for all. Peace for all. I'm creating a good movement, auspicious moment for myself, for people around me. Let there be peace. At least you will remember. So that remembering, even if your mind is habitual of reacting to a member of the family, will find a response. Auspicious moment. So that's why we want to create an indelible impression. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be wholeness for all. What do you mean by wholeness, completeness? Why we have a desire of seeking something outside? Because I feel the sense of incompleteness. Who feels the sense of incompleteness? Should I tell you, it is only the commander-in-chief. This commander-in-chief is absent in deep sleep, you feel the wholeness. You come out, you wake up fresh, calm, and happy. After a sound sleep, commander-in-chief is absent. It is the root cause of all the challenges we have in life. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. That's what we have explained. Now is the time for purifying the mind. Conventional method includes even the breathing. Austerity. It's a part of the austerity. So you are looking deep inside the forehead, space, and then Om Shanti or Shantoham, whatever you like. Shantoham means I am the peace. Let us do Shantoham. Interval. Shantoham, you said. Interval. How do you recognize that interval? The space. You see how I make you move further into the same practice of meditation, because I put it everything on the video online. It will not make a sense to the others. So interval means that Shantoham, you are aware that you have given a gap for a fraction of a millisecond, Shantoham. You are not doing habitually Shantoham, 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 Shantoham. That will not work. And now is the time to start breathing quick and short and gentle breathing from the chest. Only into the chest means only into the rib cage. You inhale, the rib cage expands. You exhale, the rib cage squeezes. And now you have understood one more subtle point. Shantoham, Shantoham. So you're moving with love. I am peace. You're not hammering the mind. Shantoham, Shantoham continues, the breathing continues. You will discover that the body remains fairly steady. The mind enjoys doing that breathing because it is rhythmic. Why it is rhythmic? The mind is not inviting the impurities, not commander-in-chief. Their mind says, I cannot do it, it is too much impurity. Awake, awareness, Find the rhythm, continue. Continue, my friends. Continue. And stop it. Do nothing. Recognize, accept. What do you recognize and accept in the field of awareness? The changes. What are those changes that you may feel? Tingling sensation, calmness, cold, heat, vision, colors. Just let them come and go. Because that gives one sense, but when we allow them to come and go, we continue our journey. We do not stop in the middle. Start doing Shantuham deep inside the forehead, and now is the belly breathing. It's a longer breath. You inhale, the belly expands like a balloon, and when you exhale, belly squeezes. Paying attention. Commander-in-Chief takes over the practice. It will cause you a lot of trouble. No, I cannot do, I don't want to do it. This is practice is bad and good and lot of stuff. I'm telling you, this is what happens in our daily life. You're doing belly breathing. It's longer than the rib cage breathing. You're syncing with the expansion and contraction of the belly with the Shantuham. Keep on doing, my friends. 3 minutes. I have kept the target. Continue belly breathing Shantuham. Body in the state of sensation, comfort and steadiness. And stop it. You see, when you follow each and every subtle step in the field of awareness, the result is bound to come. We can also do supported by the commander in chief. It will not work. Do you remember, do you recognize why the people fail? get frustrated, they leave the journey, there is nothing in it because of you. Keep on doing Shanti. Now we are going to do the 3 minutes of the breathing, combining both the belly and the rib cage. Both belly and the rib expand while inhaling and contract while exhaling. Keep on doing Shantuham with the rhythmic sinking. I gave an understanding that it has to do with the hissing sound. So when you have that hissing sound a little longer, it makes sense that you are doing it correctly. Otherwise, you have to follow the practice with with awareness. Now start this breathing. Another way, very simple way, keep on watching the movement of the breath and check how and who makes the breath return to its natural or a habitual pattern. Who? Science can give any other answer, but maintain awareness. Don't go by that answer. So, that state of awareness also helps you to recognize the changes that is taking place. Now is the time to look inside the cave of your heart. You already know equilateral triangle. Any color will do. Any background will do. Move the mind on each side of a triangle. First point of awareness. Movement of the mind, the side, and the mantra Shantoham. Do it clockwise and anti-clockwise to see and check and examine if it is sinking. When it is sinking, that is the right moment. Sing mentally, chant, and push the mind deep inside from the center of a triangle to the heart. Mind seemingly stops. You will see that as if it has stopped, and there you say, hum. Shantoham, I'm that peace. What is permanent, what is independent, is always unmoved. And the moment you find unwanted, unwelcome thought returns, you go back to the triangle, sink deep down. And now leave this step also. Start with the japa, shantoham, all the 16 points of your finger. Your awareness level goes to the peak. Why? Mind's eye, mind's touch, mind's ear, mind's tongue is doing the job. Shantoham. You feel actually the sensation as if you are touching it. You have a lot of vibes. It's not a big deal, so don't associate it with something I have a lot of spiritual vibration. Keep it simple. Shantuham, Shantuham. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both your palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. Living wisely. That's all I could say about that. Good, great meditation. Very very quiet. Um, and it was very quick.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So we can simply check, now those impurities of the mind are not attacking me during the practice. So if it is not attacking me during the practice, ultimately it will also happen in my daily life and living outside. How are you, David and Gary?
Thank you, sir. Drew, had to go to an appointment, so you're just stuck with me. It was a wonderful practice. It was kind of similar to Stephen, very quick, very just nothingness. But I did notice when we went into heart center, just this vast light and expansive space all of a sudden. It was just like an explosion.
Yeah, yeah. The vast light in the explosion, obviously, it is the expansion of the mind.
Yeah,
I
huge.
Huge. So I used to give an example that, mind is like a balloon. It must explode. When it explodes, then what happens? We are left with the pure consciousness. It's a wonderful experience. Thank you. How are you, Brandy?
Morning. I'm good, thank you. I had a realization when you gave the example of the Shanto hum when we were doing our breathing, how when my mind, like the commander in chief, right, does it, it is so aggressive. It's like, oh, and then the replacement of that from maybe lane two was really gentle, and it changed the trajectory of my practice today in a really nice way.
Beautiful. You rightly said that it happened nice way. Sometimes this commander in chief becomes violent inside. It doesn't want to let us move to the peace and happiness. No, that guy is crazy. First, I have to solve this problem. Then I will be calm. Or that guy, or that event, or that situation. So that again points to we simply say the impurities of the mind. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Sam?
Good. Very nice sitting outside today. Weather is good.
Weather is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Found the the breathing very easy today, and feeling peaceful.
Yes. Yeah. When you say the breathing is good, obviously, I've just referred to again and again Commander in Chief so that you are able to maintain awareness. Oh, Commander in Chief, I don't want you. What I want, deeper within. There are many ways, and everyone follows its own way and approach. How are you, Barbara?
I'm doing good, thank you. I had a very deep and peaceful meditation today. So deep that when you started chanting, I was startled.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right, Barbara. What happens when there are many ways to explain it? When the mind of a seeker and the mind of a teacher aligns. How it aligns? Don't go to those people who claim they are very spiritual. Everything that is spiritual in Eastern wisdom can easily be explained. Having said that, when your mind lives into the purest form and the teacher says Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, it will fill your body with those thrilling sensations. What is my role? Nothing. So who plays the role Om Shanti? You have to be rational. My friend, Christina.
Thank you. Hi, Girish. Thank you. Today, something really landed when you said or shared in the commander in chief is incomplete. So therefore, the real self must be wholeness. And so that really landed for me.
Yeah. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
point. Beautiful.
Yeah.
This commander-in-chief will always remain incomplete, and it will always rationalize that I am complete. This is the greatest problem with this commander-in-chief. Why it always pose to be complete? Because of its army. Why it says that I am more complete than the real self? Because of that. You're rightly, yeah, that's really good. That's a good point of revelation. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good. Was calm and absorbed.
Yeah.
In between, I felt a jerk while breathing, but otherwise, was good.
Yeah, jerk, I told you it's all a release of inbuilt inhibitions and past impressions. Sometimes they trigger before they get converted into a thought you recognize, you get a jerk and you get a release. Beautiful, thank you. How are you, Ashok? Ashok, sir, you are sitting in a palace, you know. I'm jealous of you. Yes.
Sir, thank you so much. And, mine was peaceful and comfort.
Good. Comfort is
Settled.
there. Yeah. Peace is there. Yes. Is it because you are sitting in a palace?
Not from outside, it's from inside.
Yes, that is the point of awareness. Nothing can make me comfort and peaceful outside. It does not mean that I am not degrading my relationship. Don't think that way. But my relationship becomes more beautiful when I express that peace and happiness. My mind is pure. Commander in chief is not there. It is not seeking. It is not obsessed. And it is sharing that. When? All the time. 24/7. That is going to transform our life. That is what our great master seven says. So we have one more. Sangeeta.
सर बहुत पीसफुल था बहुत एकदम एब्जॉर्ब था सर आप बाद में आपसे बात ही करेंगे
बात करनी है अच्छा ठीक है very peaceful very good what she says so please remember those two events one return before the COVID I used to give him the lesson so now he returned yesterday and the other guy who has been doing, he said, no, now I will focus myself on the real self. This is what I have to discover. Is that possible in our life? 50% of the journey is complete. Thank you very much for participating. We will meet again. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.